Ja, vielen Dank für diese ganz lieben Worte. Fürs erste Mal werde ich diesmal in Englisch sprechen, because I thought it makes a lot of sense to speak in English, because people from all over the world came here for this Entrepreneurs Day. And of course, I'm very honored and I'm very proud that people from Brunei are here, from South Africa, from South America, from the US, from all over the world, from Japan. And yeah, so it is every time. It's a big joy for me to welcome you here. And yes, it was a tough decision. Last year we talked about longevity. This year we talk about spirituality. But I added the world in turmoil because it feels like we are going from crisis to crisis at the moment. It is really not easy, and I want just to reflect a little bit on it. And so let me start with just our number one policy. So that is what we try. What makes a difference to this Entrepreneurs Day to anything else? We try to invite nice people. And that's what we really do, because when you can sell any seed many times, then you can make a difference and you can choose people who are givers and not just takers. And reflect about it. If you want to come next year, also be a giver and not just a taker. Connect to other people and be positive. I think this is the most important thing, what Markus also just said. Yes, it's a difficult time. Perhaps we have to pray, but I think we should nevertheless stay positive, because as Erhard said, half of it is psychology. So looking back 18 months ago, capture the moment, enjoy the moment. For me, I will talk a little bit later about my book, but capturing the moment, collecting magic moments, collecting nice moments. When you really get old, in the last moments, you will reflect on your life, and then you will remember amazing moments. And you have to be open to collect magic moments and write down your 10 best magic moments of your life. And don't say it's the birth of my kid or whatever, like a real magic moment where you say, wow, I was in the flow, I was excited, I liked it. That was really just the best of my life. And so we had Sebastian Kurz here last year. And Sebastian, that was exactly the day when he was accused of saying something wrong. And so it's a question: is he guilty? Yes. Now he was convicted for 8 months. But are we too pedantic about those kind of things in Europe? If you think about what Trump and others can do all the time, and then he's saying something wrong, we have to be careful with our leaders, because if we all put them in jail, or nobody wants to come anymore, then we have a negative selection. There's a reason why most of the people in Berlin had to play by themselves in school, because it's not. The problem is nobody of you guys is willing to go to Berlin, and that makes it so difficult. So we should appreciate that there are people in Berlin or in Munich who are fighting for us and trying their best, and just not beat them up all the time. Or you do it yourself, and you go there and say, hey, I'm not agreeing, but whenever I talk to an entrepreneur, he says, well, I'm too busy, I would never do this. And that is not fair. Then crisis can be an opportunity. Pierre Steinbrück was there. I think it was an amazing speech, and I was surprised how optimistic he is. And he said, well, listen, just see it as an opportunity. And I hope all of us will see those crises we have at the moment as an opportunity. But it also shows us the last 70 years how blessed we were with peace, with luxury. Everything goes up. I just had the other day a discussion with my dad, who's turning 91 now. And I told him how lucky he was. I mean, born in 33, and then so he only had just one direction. It always just went up. And the problem we have now is that we are not optimistic about the future. We are still up here. It's still a rich country. We are so blessed with everything. But the direction where we're looking at is not so positive. I just came back from Mexico. Everybody there is excited. Their level is much lower, but they know in the next 10, 20 years it will just go up. We had 2 drone companies here, and the impact of the Entrepreneurs Day is significant. Those 2 drone companies are doing terrific. One became the market leader in drones for hospitals, between laboratories and hospitals, the market leader in Europe. And the other one, and this was created here at Lake Tegernsee, became the largest supplier of drones for dual use in Ukraine. Well, not really dual use, but... And it is, of course, produced here close by to Munich. And so it makes a difference. A company which is doing 200 million euro in sales as a startup, it's significant. But 5 years ago, we would have never shown something like this. Because everybody said, oh, how can you do defense? But that's something we have to reflect on it. If we want to have security, we also have to do something for it. And we cannot just rely on the Americans. Christian was also here. And I mean, we will see him later. But of course, it's not an easy job he has at the moment. And you know, to be convicted of creative bookkeeping is also not nice, being a minister. But so his biggest topic is at the moment the debt brake, but we will hear more about it later. Hans-Werner Sinn was here. The ECB flooded the markets with cheap money for many, many years. The interest rates tripled, quadrupled in different countries. Here are some people who are now very upset with their real estate because now it's 3 times as expensive. But what will happen in 2024? So we don't know that. Will the interest really go down? Or are we really at the tipping point yet? An important question we have to discuss. Philipp Rösler and Paul Ronsheimer. This is what I like about Paul. When you see his, you know, when he's communicating with us from the front line, he's really brave. He's not afraid. I mean, I saw videos when he was under attack and he's still filming and he still makes his jokes, but he has deep, deep knowledge of this. And that is really, I'm really, really honored to have him here. Klitschko was here last time. It was very, very emotional. You know, when war is on your doorstep, you can't just watch. And this is something we have to realize. We are in the middle of it. It is also our war. So we really have to wake up and we really have to do something. And we cannot just expect that Ukraine is doing the work alone without our strong support. We had the Unicorn Summit, like every year. We try to bring the best unicorns of Europe together. And you see, everybody was still smiling. If you would ask me now, I think most of them are not smiling anymore. You know, I mean, on paper, we call them multi-mops, multi-millionaire on paper. Now, I doubt if they are still millionaires. It's really, really difficult. So they're all suffering. So we are not finding any money anymore for those kind of companies. But we have more unicorns here this year. And I think they are coming from a little different industry, so they are doing much better. We try at the Entrepreneurs Day, really for the last 10 years, to get as many women to the Entrepreneurs Day as possible. And now looking around, we got better. Are we there yet now? Not, but you know, we try everything. We had women empowerment yesterday. We do everything. We try to get women speakers. We try to do workshops. We really try to be open because we need in our society more women in jobs as CEOs or chairmen or entrepreneurs. I mean, we have to do something. And what we for sure need, we need more women in politics. Because I'm sure if, and you will see it later, if we would have half women, half men in all the governments of the world, we wouldn't have any wars. It's just those men with white hair which make it big for it. And you see, when women are there, it's a little bit more colorful than just being, you know, having blue stuff on. So a taste of what will come tonight. The Bavarian way of the Gaudi, you know, I think it's important. It's not just about listening to people and smart comments. It's all about networking. The main reason why we're here, we want to meet people who are interesting. So start to collect amazing people. People who don't steal your time, people you're really interested in. And I think that is such a gift. You know, I'm so proud that I started, you know, 30 years ago to collect people. And now to bring them all to the Entrepreneurs Day. That is nice, and that is the reason why the atmosphere is probably very different from other events. Since the last 17 months, a lot happened. The cryptocurrencies went up now to almost 70,000. The Bitcoin rises. But Sam Bankman-Fried, a 100-time billionaire, now he will go for probably 100 years into prison. But this shows also when you're an entrepreneur, and they are not all crooks. You know, it is not easy to run those kind of companies. And if you're not willing to take risks, and this is our big problem in Europe, we are not willing to take risk. Why? Because we just would like to keep it like it is. But we as a society have to take risk in order to participate of the future. And it will not be cars, it will not be banking, it will not be insurance. We need more innovation, we need more startups. And this guy, yeah, I think he did it too much. By the way, that's a funny one. That's him now in prison. And you're wondering why everything is black, but he's not. This guy was sending the picture around. So he became famous. So we have also a Wunderwutzi. I feel very sorry for him. I had lunch and dinners with him. He's a very, very interesting guy. I think he exaggerated too much. He wanted too much. He risked a lot. Still, a year ago when I met him in Mallorca, everybody said, wow, that's him. He's doing amazing. He became a multi-billionaire without great education. So it's amazing what he did, but this is now one of the biggest scandals. And this is kind of sad whenever, in America, you look at lighthouse entrepreneurs. We have the Elon Musk of the world. And we always look, is there any crook here, we can beat up? But we need lighthouse entrepreneurs because if we don't, the younger generations, they look up to them and we need them as lighthouse. So then you realize that also we had an AI tsunami. I mean, I deal with AI all day, but the issue is it really a bubble or is it true? I mean, we had this before with blockchain, with other things. Is it really coming now? Is it really making the difference? Is this a chance for countries like Germany? Because 8 million workers will be missing by 2030. So can AI help us to stabilize? And everybody, at the moment, we just have gadgets. We are playing around with it. But we don't have real business cases yet. But for sure, it will come. We had earthquakes and volcanoes everywhere, despite the fact that, we haven't seen, this is everywhere. And I don't know, perhaps it's the press that we only see negative news nowadays, but I think it is just something, this is also reality. And also when you see this, be happy, we live in an amazing country, be more positive. What are those people suffering? This is totally different. European venture capital went down 50%, so it is at the moment not possible to get any further funding rounds. So the big dying of startups is just starting. The government is not reacting. I talked to Christian and he puts in 3.5 billion into it, but it will take 2 years. So what we are seeing at the moment, the Arab funds are buying all our unicorns, all our tech. So all my tech companies, we sell either to the Chinese or to the Americans. There's a sellout, and we just subsidize stupid companies like TUI or stuff which is not worth supporting anyhow. They will die anyhow. So why are we not putting our money in something which is the future? Because we don't have any lobby in the startup world. The next depression, I think the mood in Europe has never been worse, or at least in Germany. Well, at least there's still some construction going on. We have to be positive, but I think there is. It is for me at least. It's a new feeling. A sick man of Europe. We had this before. 20 years ago when people said, is Germany the sick man of Europe? And at the moment we have inflation, not much growth, and the mood is not good. So what can we do about it? And it is not what the Green Party is thinking, just spending by the government. This will not help us. We need more entrepreneurs. We have to support the entrepreneurs. We have to make it as easy as possible. But this kind of bureaucracy and the difficulties to enter new markets, etc., it is just very little fun. And I know that in Bavaria you do a lot, and you're putting also more money to it. But I think it will take some more years. The German federal budget crisis. Yeah, this is kind of sad when the Supreme Court tells you, well, you were cheating. But the good news, see the good news. In what country would this happen? We will see it now in America. Is the Supreme Court in the US really independent? Probably not. But I think we can be proud that they are ruling independently of who's running the country. And of course, for Christian and for the three of them, how to find quickly 50, 60 billion, it's not so easy. But I think, honestly, I think the government, I know I'm alone there, is not as bad as people say. They have also done a few good things, for sure. But if you are in this kind of situation, I think it's very, very difficult to get out of it. We have too many hypocrites. I would push out all the foreigners if I could, but we need them. We have to have a culture where we invite more people. You know, the issue. Who will take care of us when we get old? Should it be a robot? No. I mean, we want people who take care of us, but we will not have enough. So I think the overall situation there is that we have to. But when I go to India, when I go to Mexico, nobody wants to come to Germany anymore. They say, why should I go to Germany? I go to Canada, I go to US, I go to Australia. Germany is not really sexy. So we have to become more attractive, that the good people are coming, the engineers, the medical doctors, etc. The Great Blockade. I don't know if this is really democracy. Anybody now is misusing the democracy and blocking roads and canceling flights. I mean, look today, no train, no airplanes. I mean, this cannot be that you stick yourself to the roads. I don't think this is democracy, but I think it's a new way of doing it. It's kind of frustrating, and of course it reflects the overall atmosphere we have in Germany. But it's not just in Germany. We have a collective frustration with the establishments. So in all the countries, we see the same. I mean, populism is everywhere. I mean, Trump, or if you go to Netherlands now, or if you go to France, the situation is everywhere. I don't know why we have this kind of frustration, despite the fact that actually the overall situation is still okay. This is a critical year. In 64 countries, we will have national elections, not just in the US, not just in India or Mexico. So 40% of the world GDP has elections. And then we will see if this world from this year will be the same still next year. And I just came back from Latin America, and they always now go from all the way far left to all the way to the right, and vice versa. I mean, they try something on the left side, it does not work, and then they go in the extreme situation. So that means this kind of stability we used to have, that somebody is sticking to one party or one idea, is not working anymore. And populism is everywhere. Make America great again. And now, Trump started this, but now you have it in any country. People are starting to focus on their countries. And I don't think that really helps when you have globalization, global trade. I think this is a very, very dangerous development. US presidential elections. I mean, that's no joke. I mean, the greatest nation on earth is not capable of bringing up better than something like this. I mean, what an embarrassment. And I still have hope. I mean, for sure, Trump, from my point of view, will make it. But I still have hope. And nobody has this on the agenda. I think he will go bankrupt before. He has to spend now $400 or $500 million as guarantees to court. And, you know, his wealth is not as big as people think. So I think it's getting very, very expensive. And I think he has difficulties here to make it. You will hear the next 2 weeks that this will be a very important issue. Different approaches. Washington, I cannot tell a lie. Nixon, I cannot tell the truth. And Donald Trump, I cannot tell the difference. It's really, really sad, I know. But, you know, despite the fact that he, you know, is very different from anybody we had seen before, he's right and he's wrong at the same time. And, you know, he's just doing it in a totally wrong way. But he's right that when he pushes us to spend 2% on our budget for defense, we cannot always ask the Americans. Richard Grenell is not coming to the Entrepreneurs Day because he just... But he's the closest friend, or one of the closest friends of Trump, and he said, listen, this is one thing for sure. We will not protect you if you're not willing to go up to 2%. I mean, this is what I think Trump really made clear. And countries like Germany and France, we should be able to spend enough money on this. It's just a question of priorities. And the old boys club running the world. I mean, that's what I meant. Look how old they are. You know, old men, Nazist people are running this. And you're wondering who's more crazy than the others. Is that really, is this, and then when you come with normal democracy, that you have no chance against those men, and that they, Erdogan, I missed here. Not Erdogan, there are others who are not on the page. They blackmail us, just Orban, and this is something which I think is really becoming very, very dangerous. So we will see a lot of conflicts in the next coming years from those old men. And propaganda. Who would have thought that propaganda is coming back? But you have seen it now, what Tucker Carlson did with Putin. You have seen this train crash, or when you see the attack of the Capitol. I made very beautiful, heartwarming statements. I mean, there's just so much propaganda. And if you are always honest and straightforward, and the other side is just populism, it's very difficult to beat. I know this in negotiations, and I think there is also perhaps we have to get better in discussing, we have to get better, we have to have other people. And here, Mrs. Strack-Zimmermann, we had a very nice dinner last night. This is, I think, your main topic, the Taurus discussion, but we are really lousy in marketing. Germany is doing so much, but if you ask the people, I mean, we do a lot, and then we don't, and then we hesitate, and then we don't sell it in the right way. People, have a wrong impression about Germany. Italy and France, they're doing nothing, but they look like, well, we are always supporting. And it's so unfair. So we have to work on our skill set to sell it better to the media and to other countries and make very clear. But this is really, really, really sad. I think we have a very weak chancellor at the moment. Perhaps he knows more than we do. And of course, this is also a little bit of an embarrassment if top military people are using WebEx to exchange information. Should have been different. And the question is always, 2 years ago, we started with the Zeitenwende. And is it a lack of leadership or lack of urgency? Or is it just the bureaucracy? The third largest economy in the world is not capable of producing a few 100,000 ammunition. I mean, come on, guys, this cannot be true. I mean, either we don't want, or we are too slow, or we have the wrong leaders. But and it is not. I know Pat Berger also quite well. It's not his fault, But we should be able. And a small country. I mean, Russia is a gas station with nukes. They have no real economy. And this little country is showing Europe now in what direction it goes. And I think we just have to wake up, and also Japan has to wake up, that we are facing this kind of challenge. I just came back from Saudi Arabia, and I don't know if you know, I was one of the first advisors to MBS many, many, many years ago. Now I feel embarrassed that I did this, but he's doing an amazing job in the region, and we are also changing our mindset now. But I talked to his ministers. We want German-free products. This is what I heard from anybody down there. People don't want any more German products. Why? Because we annoyed them for a decade. Whenever they wanted something, a Eurofighter, then we said, no, we should not take it. And I was involved back those days with Guido's, with other technologies. It was always very difficult. And now they are buying it somewhere else, and they will not rely on us anymore. And this kind of, before it was made in Germany. Now you have in all the tenders German-free products. I think that's something which is bad. And here you see the difference between being in opposition and being in government. I mean, we have to honor that they are really changing. The Green Party has changed. They became probably the largest supporter to buy new equipment. And the 100 billion are almost gone. Do we really need 300 billion? We will see in a second. Do we really have to be afraid of Russia? I don't think at the moment. There is not much left in Russia. Of course, they have the nuclear bombs. But at the moment, I think the next 5 or 10 years, they will not be capable of attacking any NATO country. But we shouldn't bet on it, and we should be prepared. We should not be in 5 years in the situation where we really have to worry. And those are the two guys. It's not a real friendship, but it's a partnership. And they rely on each other. But I think China has more to lose at the moment than Russia. And so we will see on how this relationship will go. Then we saw the Wagner march on Moscow. and Prigozhin did a deal with Putin, but I think it was not a very good deal. So this is what happened when you make a deal. This is what happens when you make a deal with him. The death of Alexei Navalny and 2 years of war, I mean, you see that he would do anything, you know. I mean, we always think if we are nice to him, we can convince him. Then we had the October 7th. I mean, the biggest pogrom since the Holocaust. This was a game changer for all my friends in Israel. It's a collective traumata in Israel, and it's really, really sad. We will talk more about this. And of course, 70% of the Israelis want now elections, and it's a whole big disaster what's happening in Palestine. It's also a big embarrassment what is happening there. But at the end, you know, there is nobody right or wrong. It is just a big suffering, and I think it should stop. But the positive side is perhaps the first time in decades we really have perhaps a chance for a solution, because we didn't have it before. And I'm more optimistic at the moment that we will come to a solution. Moments that moved me: don't forget to take selfies all the time. The selfies is important, so at the end of the year, you know what you have been doing. So don't be embarrassed to take selfies. I still do it. And I also had my traumata. It was not a collective traumata. I had the stupid idea, together with Thomas and many others, to buy big parts of Barcelona. This was my personal Waterloo. And it was people told me, get out of your comfort zone, Conny. You are doing all those Mickey Mouse investments. You know, go for it. You are now still young, do it. I hate to be out of the comfort zone. It's just a nightmare, and we don't know. And we went public here. It looks sexy, but it is not as sexy as you might think. So how does it work? People come to you, they advise you, do something. Then there is excitement and frustration for 1 year, and then there is change. I changed. My life changed last year. I'm completely different. And that is also the reason why I picked spirituality. It is, I think, we always try to pick a topic which is not there yet. But in 5 years from now, spirituality will be a big topic. I said it yesterday, if you want to 10x your business, you have to 10x your mind. That is really the next thing. Living longer is good, but you want to be conscious, you want to be aware, you want to enjoy it, you have to have a purpose. So you know the U-curve of happiness. So I'm still, it goes really fast, so I'm optimistic. I turn 90, I mean, then I have 12,000 days left. But the good news is, it will get better. We will be more happy. Yes, perhaps it aches here or there, but at the end, it is going to the right direction. And what I tried last year with longevity is to push this another 10 years extra. To have more days. Because if you would ask me, would you give all your money for another 200 years? I would say yes immediately. I think life is so cool. The alternative is shit. So I thought, okay, that was longevity. And now you get the point why I picked spirituality. Because it's not just about living longer. It's also about enjoying the remaining time longer. This is what is important. And lifespan, health span, and mental health span. And so it's not just the number, it's also that you are free from disease. And how many years are you really fully conscious and you really enjoy? So my way of spirituality is being more conscious, living with a purpose, and maximizing happiness. The main reason why we are here, we should have a happy life and enjoy it, and give something back and educate our kids, and etc., etc. So, and I tried to live more like this. I also was like running around, flying every week to a different continent and giving speeches and investing in companies. But now I slowed down and I also enjoy it. So you have to reinvent yourself all the time. And now I'm on this trip. So let's wait and see how long I will do it. When did you last time really reflect on your life? Think about it. Start with this today. Don't you have the same impression that Christmas comes quicker and quicker? Slow down, be more conscious, be more aware of what you are doing. Don't consume too much time with television. Talk to your partner, And then, religion, we will hear Cardinal Marx later, The churches are empty and Burning Man is crowded. I mean, did the church something wrong? I think they have to update their product. Because if you talk to younger generations, they cannot deal with church anymore. They don't understand. But I think it's important to have spirituality and religion. For me, it is very important. I know my dad always goes to church, but you're also a very spiritual person. So you have to believe in something. And now work-life balance. When I now talk to younger entrepreneurs, we always said, you have to work. But is it really the case? We have one life. And we should make the best out of one life. So there is I don't know which generation is wiser. The ones who work 12, 14 hours a day, or the ones who work perhaps in a more precise way. So that was me. And you. No thanks, we are too busy to change. We should, sometimes, I said it yesterday, I should have listened a few times more. And perhaps if somebody gives you good advice, don't say I'm too busy, think about it. Okay, and then it's very sexy nowadays to talk about spirituality. So people are like, oh, now I'm rich, I fixed this side, now I go into spirituality to fix also the other side. I don't think that works like this. And don't think it's too late, you're too old, If I can become vodka, you can become anything. So even if it doesn't look like it at the moment, or you don't feel like that you are capable of doing it, at least try it. We know very little about our mind. This is what I'm dealing with at the moment, our conscious mind, subconscious mind. Here we are just starting to figure out how this really functions. We overthink, we overworry. We worry actually all the time. The problem is small, but we always worry. And the reason behind it is we had a negative selection. Our reptile brain was built that we survive. Only the pessimistic people survived. Because the optimistic people, he said, there is no tiger behind the bush, I just go there, and he was gone. But so the pessimistic one, that is the reason why we are full of pessimistic people. 80% of your thoughts are negative. Think about it. So fake it until you make it. Become clear that you have to have positive thoughts. Observe your thoughts. It's like brushing teeth. You have to work on it, what kind of thoughts you will allow. Our brain cannot differentiate what's true and what's not true. And if you always tell yourself, of course I have bad luck, of course this must happen to me, it will happen to you. So therefore, don't trust your thoughts. And if anybody can become happy, where did you find that? I have been searching for it everywhere. I made it myself, happiness. Think about it. Happiness is a mindset. I wish I was taller, I wish I was richer, I wish I had more time. And but life is not like this. We should be just grateful. We should be grateful with what we have, etc. This is, by the way, in all my trousers. Go to bed with a go to bed with a dream, wake up with a purpose. This is written in my jeans, and I think it's so true. So I worked a lot on myself, and this is my ikigai. A Japanese way. It's like, what are you good at? What do you love? What does the world need? And what is the world paying you for? And if you put all this together, this is the reason why you wake up in the morning. This is the reason what you burn for Mrs. Strack-Zimmermann. That is the reason why here, I want to help Germany to wake up. This is why you're getting in so much trouble at the moment, because this is your purpose. And Kai has a different purpose. Everybody has a purpose. But to find out this purpose, I think this is really, really key. My key learnings, if you focus on speed over direction, you really run in the wrong way. And this is probably what I see with many of you. Many of the people think they're doing the things right and well, but do they reflect that they are doing the right things? It's like with business, with startups. They are doing an amazing job, but is it really the right idea? Sometimes it's perhaps good if you take a little bit more time in order to look at it. This is our new book, and I'm very proud of it. So the last book I wrote was with Thomas Middelhoff, why Germany is in the situation it is, like, missed the future. Why did we miss the future? What did we do wrong? And writing a book with Thomas Middelhoff, it was not easy because I got beaten up many times writing a book, but I think it is a very, very good book. This one is about that we have only one life. And I did it for my kids. Because at the moment, when we have kids, the kids are taught by the teachers or by the parents. But honestly, is that best practice? Why does everybody has to experience everything over and over again? Just do best practice. And I divided life, or we divided life. I did it with Dorina and with Krina in this book, how to live life to the fullest. So I divided life in 10 chapters. All this is AI developed in 10 chapters. It's entrepreneurship, then your mind, quality of life, financial independence. Then I'm saying what I'm doing. Then I'm saying what is science saying. And many of you contributed and said, okay, what are they doing? And I think this is I got to know my kids completely new when I went through the chapters with my kids. And they are still open to change. And do it, if you have, the idea behind it is whenever you do something, you have to work on it. If you want to have a great body, you have to work on it. You want to have you want to be a happy person, you have to work on it. You want to have a great relationship with your partner, work on it. And I think this is the idea of this book. And why I'm doing this, it is all about that we have one life. And there are 2 points. It's a balancing act. Many of you are entrepreneurs, and you're busy and working all day long, and you don't have time perhaps for your kids. Mr. Rompe, we talked about it. And the thing is, it has to be a balancing act. You cannot be an amazing politician and at the same time you have 5 kids and you're also the perfect mom or the perfect dad. So it's a balancing act. And I met now so many billionaires in my life, and I'm always wondering, the richer they are, the more unhappy they are. And why? Because they have just 3 or 4 of those points they are very strong at. They are very good at making money, they are very good perhaps at networking, but they are not very good in orchestrating the different parts of your life. Only if you are good in all parts of your life, then you have harmony in your life. So, it's only a short trip. Enjoy it. Thank you so much.